There's also a lot being revealed about, the ISIS flag that was in the vehicle, the links to the extremist hate preacher in Western Sydney. Again, we haven't seen any action from Tony Burke or the Albanese government, and no desire even to check whether there are others who've been radicalised.
There hasn't been a commensurate response to the scale of this atrocity. We need to see high visibility response by police. We need to be seeing, doors knocked down and actually proper investigations into those who are behind the hate that's being spawned. I haven't seen it. None of us have seen this. It's not visible. And it's because from the top we're not seeing that conviction.
Over the past, because it's been about 48 hours now, Ben, I can't tell you the number of people I've spoken to who were here, who endured the terror attack, and many understandably don't want to go on camera, but they've poured their heart out. It feels like it's been 48 hours of tears for so many in the Jewish community, and you just don't get the sense that the Prime Minister has had any of those conversations. He doesn't have an understanding of the trauma of what went on here.
Yeah, I think on an emotional basis you're not seeing that matching it. There seems to be a cognitive dissonance or something. Something's just not adding up in terms of that response. You don't want to see people raging or over the top, but you wanted to see a degree of anger behind this. That's what we've seen in the past. You could go back 25 years to when the first wave of terror attacks came. The response from Australian leaders was a commensurate, degree of anger about this and a determination to get to the bottom of it, root it out, and start to tackle what is an enormous problem for all of us in Australia.
Ben, you saw my interview with the New South Wales Premier. It was the most substantial interview he's done so far, a 20-minute interview. What did you make of how he plans to address the issue of radical Islam and then also the police resourcing problem that clearly took place here?
Well, he's miles in front of Albanese, but it was actually alarming to hear that there were only 2 police at that time. I would like to know whether there were attempts to get more police from Jewish leaders. As you said, there were 1,000 people here. It seems inadequate to have 2 police, particularly obviously in light of what's happened. So I think we need to know whether there were attempts to get more police here. I think what this shows is if we have to have a massive sort of presence of police at every Jewish event, it goes to the point that there's been a manifestly inadequate response to the anti-Semitism problem.
Exactly. Hatred has been allowed to breed within Western Sydney communities to get to the point where we now live our lives in fear.
And they feel like they have a social licence to be able to talk about their hatred out loud. I want to know why there hasn't been any arrests or charges, as you pointed out in the interview, for hate speech amongst the extreme Islamists.
Yeah, I mean, they all say they've got the laws, then why aren't the laws being used?
Yeah. I think that's the problem. We don't have necessarily a law problem, we have a problem of execution.
Yeah, well, because the Prime Minister said today he's got hate speech laws. The Premier, when I sat down with him, said he's got these brand new laws, but we just don't see those arrests happen. And even on the Harbour Bridge, when I went to police with specific photographs of people wearing the Hamas inverted triangle or carrying a swastika on a Mike and David, etc., no action is taken. No,
because their approach is for harm minimisation rather than actually tackling the problem. And I think that's the thing. You can't appease evil. No. You have to tackle it.
Exactly. Ben English, thank you so much for joining us here.
Thanks, Sharri.
And we look forward to your coverage tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you very much.